This is the first one I ever had from middle school. Yeah.
Okay, what questions do we have on the chart right that we want to see? Do you go over have questions about?
Let me get some.
5, 3. Any others? So starting with number 3. Put phones away. With number 3, we have to find the slope. So we have to use our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x. Label this if you need to. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. And this would give us -2 minus 3 over -5 minus 2. We'd have to subtract -2 minus 3 would give us -5. -5 minus 2 would give us -7. And so 5/7 would be our slope. Questions on that? Edwin Cornwell. Number 5. Solve the given equation for y. So this is just our literal equations again, getting this back into y equals mx plus b. So get rid of your x term by adding it to the other side. Switch the order of these, so we have 3x plus 9. And divide everything by negative. So that y equals -x minus. Whoever has music playing is way too loud. Questions on this one? Any other shark bite questions? Okay. So as I mentioned last class, I had originally built in 2 days for the last lesson that we just finished, but we finished it. So today's going to be a review day for you guys, and then on Tuesday we're gonna review, and then you guys are gonna take the quiz, and then on Thursday go over the quiz, and then you guys take the test. For your review today, you're gonna be doing these. So you have 2 pages worth of questions. Between the 2 pages, you need to do 5 GCF problems. That's the first section. 5 grouping problems. That's the second section. 5 difference of squares problems. The third section, and then there are more of these, so 6 a equals 1, and 6 of the a does not equal 1. But to ensure that you do this, because many of you will just be on your phones, any phones either put up or in this bin. You have a choice of up or in this bin, not in your pockets, not in your bags. Phones are up or in this bin. You can listen to music. And I'll give you a minute to set that up, but everyone's phones need to be in this bin or out. Go ahead and do that. On your book bags, up in this bin.
Give a little bit of money to the turkeys at the time.
You have
Like to listen to this. Yeah, change it. Not to that. And then I don't really have this one set up to next. Yeah. I get color. She did 20. She did. That's so cute. That's what